So, CONVOS Roundtable Talk. We're in the segment of a father's position.
Oh.
But we're speaking to the ladies. And we want to see what are their opinions on the father's position in their life. So, Sakara, since you are new to the panel, you just walked in.
I did.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Let's speak about a father's position in your life. What is your father's position in your life? What should he teach you? What should he show you? And how should he protect you throughout your whole life if he still can?
Oh wow. See, you know, I got a unique story when it comes to
Let's talk
when it
about
comes to fathers.
Let's talk about it.
Oh God. Okay. So, first off, I believe your father is your first love. Honestly, you know, how that relationship is between a father and his daughter, you know, really sets the groundwork for how a man is supposed to treat you. You know, because really, parents as a whole, we're their first teachers. You know, so they'll learn from their father's actions, you know, how a man should interact with them, you know. So if there's abuse involved, you know, that's what they're going to look for. They think that's normal. You know what I'm saying? But with my daddy, hey daddy. Now with my daddy, I must say, now the first few years that I spent with him, he made a major impact. I was only with him for a few years, and the last time I had saw him was when I was 8 years old. And there's a unique story behind that, but I ain't gonna take up too much time. But we did not see each other again for 23 years later. Yeah. Oh, just really? Okay. 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 So initially, how it started. I was reunited with my dad when I was like 3 years old, and I was with him all the time. I was my daddy's shadow, you know. I love my dad. Everywhere he went, that's where I was. You know, you would not see Kenneth Fuller without seeing me, you know. However, the relationship between my daddy and my mom was very strenuous. So we left, and there was a point where I had asked my mom when we was going to go back to see, you know, because I miss my daddy. I wanted to see my daddy, you know what I mean? And I was told that he wasn't my father, and that broke me. However, at that moment, at 8 years old, I told myself, I said, you know what? He's always going to be my daddy, you know.
Was that a true statement?
Oh, yeah. I never, yeah, he was always going to be my daddy. And
Not
mom,
that he wasn't your father.
that's what it says, it's a story.
Okay.
Okay, so when I was around 11 years old, I asked my mom, I had asked her, I said, well, Mom, who's my dad? And she said she did not know. Because she had said that she was raped with me. You know, she was raped, and that's how she conceived me. Years passed, and when I was around 23, I was told that my dad was in the same town that she was living in. However, the way it was told to me, she called me and she said, Pooh, remember when you asked, you know, who your dad was? We were like, well, he's right here. However, I make her feel this when I say this, but anyway, that didn't turn out to be the case. You know what I'm saying? So, fast forward to the age of 32. I'm Googling my name, and I see my name because I have a very unique name. I Google my name, and I just do that just to see what pops up. And there's this archive, and it speaks of this woman named Barbara Fuller. I knew a Barbara Fuller. She was my grandma, called her Grandma Barbara. And in the archive, it was explaining that she had passed in 2001. And it had listed, you know, the relatives and things. And I see my daddy's name. I see my aunt's names. I see my cousin's names. You know what I mean? All the people I remember that I interacted with. And then I see my name. So I'm like, okay. Quite naturally, if there's a death in the family, you know, of course you're gonna have all the relatives listed. So I'm like, okay, I hadn't been around in years. You know what I'm saying? And here it is, my name is in this obituary. You get what I'm saying? Fast forward. In 2012, I was diagnosed with MS. Okay, and by me not really knowing who my father was, you know, you really don't know what health issues are on that side. You know what I'm saying? So when I found that on the internet, when I Googled my name, I had told my mom, and she had said that, well, you know, he always said, referring to my dad, he always said, you know, that you were his, and I always said otherwise. And she was like, you know what, he has MS too. Long story short, within that day, she contacted him, and I talked with him, and he had been looking for me, and there was, and throughout that time, from the age of 8 to the age of 32, I did reach out to him searching for him, because I remember dialing 411, you know, information. I called, I don't know how many Kenneth you know, trying to find him in Virginia. I found him, and we talked, and we reconnected and everything. And then all I remember, there was a halt. I don't know why, but I later found out what happened. And but anyway, when we got reunited, you know, and he saw me immediately, like within 2 weeks he came to see me. And when I saw him versus that other person, that it was like looking in a mirror, you know. And it broke me down, because the stuff that I went through as a child, that's a whole nother conversation. The love that he gave me kept me, if you get what I'm saying. Because I didn't have I'm not gonna say I had the worst, but it was not the best, because of the stuff that I've been through, okay? Abuse, and, you know, on different levels, you get what I'm saying? However, I held on to what I experienced with him. I held on to what he gave me, because I'm like, okay, there has got to be more than this. You get what I'm saying? And so it just goes to show, you know, a lot of us don't realize just how impactful your interactions are with people. So like, even like with fathers, you know, I know some are busy, you know what I'm saying? Some are busy, maybe work, you know, they're not able to be around all the time, or it could just be other situations at hand. But when you're with that child, you know, your influence, your interactions, you know, how you present yourself to them, how you treat them, how you love them, how you shelter them, how you protect them, all that plays a part in how you shape them in life. I feel like I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Am I answering?
No, yeah. So you're saying that what he did for you kept you through all of this?
Because baby, I could have been strung out. I could have been selling my body. I could be dead right now. I could be locked up. I could be, there's a lot of stuff, because there's a lot of stuff that I have been through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm thankful, and he really don't, my daddy really don't know just how much he have placed in me, you know. I'm about to cry. I'm not gonna cry. Am I answering the question?
Then you just
It's
got
kind
our
of like
work.
when you're at church, when the pastor is like really hitting home, everybody's quiet, and there's no amens. Because we don't want to interrupt nothing.
Hey, we touched.
Yeah.
We touched by your
Especially
story.
me.
Yes.
Especially me. I was a father's child, so the impact for me, I've always wondered about it. Like, if he had known me, got to know me, or expressed to me that he knew me, because my situation was my mother was dating him. He was married. He had 4 kids with a wife that had got mad at him and moved to Chicago. So she was 19, he was 30. And so she believed that. And I used to follow her a lot. Like, why would you decide to have a child by somebody you didn't know nothing about? And she always explained to me that she just didn't know. She was like, to me, I was young, I didn't know when I was in love. So throughout the years, he didn't stay too far. I didn't really get to know him. I didn't want to know him because where he lived at to me was dysfunctional. All of them were addicts. And my mama did a really good job at raising me. However, when I went down there, it was just different. But I still wondered, did he know me? Did he get to know my name? Did he know my whole name? I remember this. It was class day. I was in the 9th grade. And when he would talk to my mama or date my mother, he would then support me. So this particular Friday, he had asked me, I asked him, could he buy me a class day dress? It was going to be held the next week. Man, you at how I explained their housework. He was married. So he was like, come down to my house in the morning and I'll give you some money for your dress. So it was about 9 o'clock that morning when my mom took me down there. She wanted me to see for myself. She never spoke bad about him.
Yeah.
So when I went down there and asked him for the dress, knocked on the door, they lived in sort of like a code enforcement should have shut it down. But when I knocked on the door, the wife hollered out and said, he ain't got no damn money for you. And that was my first time ever experiencing letdown, you know. And so from then I vowed to myself that he's just somebody that, you know, he probably didn't want to get to know me. So he missed a lot of things in life. When I was first diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, he was the one that was supposed to take me to the doctor because one symptom of diabetes is using the bathroom a lot.
Yeah.
And so that particular, I diagnosed myself. I was 14 and we was in health class. And I said, Mom, I think I got diabetes. She said, girl, shut up, you just got a kidney infection. Well, she didn't know that I was in class. So when he promised me that particular day that he was gonna take me to the doctor that morning, he never showed up. And so my mother took off work and took me to the hospital. They kept me for 2 weeks. He never came down there. So I always felt it was me. And I always told my mother that if he would have never had me, then maybe he would be a much better person to his other kids. But later I found out that he wasn't like that with them either. So, but he lived with them, so I'm sure he had some type of impact. And to this day, I'm thinking about it more and more to this day, because at first I really didn't. I hid it. But now it's just coming out, you know, about how he got, why he could have, you know, he should have had a chance to know me because I'm a special person. And I was always confident. My mama always told me good things. She was sweet. I always, you know, I was just a wild child. I had fun, but I always wanted to know about
is that
him.
because you
Just want to know.
it's like you don't have a sense of identity, so to speak,
Right.
when you don't know.
Missing
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like you said when you were sick, I
Yeah.
wanted to know where mine come from.
And like with that, because I just recently found, because I was in the hospital this weekend, but I found out that I was misdiagnosed with MS. So I still got to find out. There's still something going on with me, they said, and I still have to go for MRIs and stuff like that. But even with that, it just goes to show it's important to know. It's important to know both sides.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I'm sorry. You know I got the chills.
Okay.
You know, it's okay if I get I'm sorry. Am I being rude?
That was wrong.
She
got
got
sugar.
crying. I
She
can't.
has sugar.
You know I
While you do
I
that, we
can't.
gon'
Okay, you know I
ask Saul a
can't.
question.
I'm sorry.
Thanks, Saul. How you feeling, Saul?
I'm feeling fine. I ain't gonna cry. I can't.
Don't do it.
I ain't gonna cry.
But what's you know, we never heard, well, I haven't heard you speak
Okay.
about your parents a lot. So, being a man, me being a man, I always want to know what is a father's position, because one day I will have children, and I'm taking care of 2 nieces right now, and I'm trying to learn how, because I didn't get a lot of affection growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like you told me Thursday, you said let go of that iron fist, and that's what I'm, learning how to do. So what's your father's position, or what is your father's position in your life?
Well, he's there now. Him and my mother had a peculiar, I'm gonna say that, a peculiar relationship. Not in a funny way. He wasn't married or anything like that, but I can recall my dad saying, okay, he called me Pooh. Pooh, I'm gonna come pick you up. And I sit by the door with my little bag and my little doll, and my dad coming to get me. And I would lay by the door, go to sleep, and I would wake up crying, and my mama just like, I told, get up, he ain't coming. And I'm like, but he gonna come, and I'm gonna miss him if he come, so just let me lay here till he come. And my mama like, you can't come, you just gotta get in the bed. And she would get frustrated because I needed that daddy's love.
I feel like
Every girl needs that. I mean, because you grow up, you got the little girls that boys are telling them they're pretty. No boys are telling me I'm pretty. Not saying that it mattered, but at the time it mattered because I didn't have a male telling me I was pretty. You got girls, just in school, they're the father-daughter dance, the dad's donuts, the dances, the graduations. My dad came to my 6th grade graduation and I sung, and everybody was crying, and my mom, she just smiling so hard, and my dad standing there like he just did everything in the world, like he was proud. And I'm proud because my daddy there. And then we go through the back and forth. Well, not we. My mom and dad go through the back and forth. My dad told me, don't call me no more till you turn 18. Because him and my mom couldn't come to a mutual agreement.
What?
And so,
For real?
that tore me up, because I'm like, all I'm trying to do is make both of y'all proud. What's going on? I mean, I ain't got nothing to do with what y'all got going on. It's just me. I just want my daddy. And the times when I was little, I'm gonna go back. The times when I was little and he would come pick me up, and he would have these girlfriends with him, and baby, I just be like, you are not Patrice, baby, and I don't like you because I like Patrice because she had kids. I did anything to get other women away from him because I needed that attention. I wanted that attention. Not that he didn't give it to me when we were together, but that's just what I wanted, because I needed to hear a man say, you're so pretty. You're a cute little girl. It's going to be okay. People say that because it's me. My mom said it to me. She talked to me all the time. But you hear it from a woman, you just like, oh, she telling me I'm pretty because that's my mama.
Yeah.
Now,
That goes into, that helps out with your self-love.
it helps out a lot. I mean, but when you don't have no man telling you something, then when you get old enough to get breasts and the boy say, I want to be your boyfriend because you got some breasts, you just be like, oh my goodness, ooh, a boy done showed me some attention.
So
Woo!
that,
So it's now but it's not the right attention.
I was gonna ask, and that can go into you becoming
Promiscuous.
And to the word.
But I can thank God that I've never been promiscuous. But I wanted to be at one point because I felt like, well, maybe if I give them this, they'll like me.
So did he pick you up during the times him and your mom was on good terms?
Yeah. But then when they,
On bad terms?
and it's parents' relationship, it makes a big difference because the crazy thing about it is like I'm going through this same thing with my daughter and her dad. And it's